CBA, Major League Baseball. I firmly believe, Silence, as that we won't have any baseball. It's early in the process. They started negotiations today where the players union went ahead and they had their first proposal, and I want to go ahead and go over that first. So the first proposal that they had was a competitive integrity tax for any team that does not spend $150 million, increase of the minimum wage from $780,000 to $1.5 million, increase the base CBT threshold from 244 to 300 million. So that's what the players union wanted to do. They wanted to increase the minimum salary because, yeah, guys, listen, inflation, things are going up. Guys should be able to earn a little bit more money. I don't see that as a big problem. And then the CBT should definitely be raised as well because it's too low right now. You got teams that are paying all of this tax just because they want to be competitive and put a competitive team out there. They're now funding money for the rest of the league that's not going back into the team. It's just going into the owner's pockets. It's garbage. It's completely garbage. So the counter is that the owners want a salary cap. For the first time since 1994, they proposed a cap because, outs when the strike happened, they came back and they wanted the cap. And you're not getting no damn cap. So they want a cap of $245 million and a salary floor of $171 million, including player benefits, revenue splits would be 50-50. Let's see here. So it says that the players have rejected this and proposed the competitive balance tax threshold of $300 million. So the CBT is basically kind of like a extra soft cap in baseball, but that's only for the high-end teams, the top 7 to 8 teams that are actually spending that type of money. But there is a disparity. I think that the biggest thing that needs to happen in baseball, and we talked about this before we even started potting, you got to increase the floor. It has nothing to do with the fucking cap. We don't need a cap in baseball. But you need to raise the floor. Every team should spend a minimum. I put it at $100 million. But if you can be able to get it higher than that, then great. But you can't have teams like the Miami Marlins having a $72 million payroll. How do you how does that work when you're getting funded by all of the top owners in the league by maintaining your team? You have a billionaire owner and they're not putting money into the franchise. I don't understand that. Yet you have fucking nightclubs and all this bullshit in the stadium. But what's the product on the field?
Yeah, I feel like personally, like, to jump from nothing to, like, for the Marlins in particular, like, almost $100 million more, I feel like that's too big of a jump. Because, like, what are they going to do? Like, the Marlins going to do? Having to almost double their salary in 1 year. So I, like, more agree with you, like, with a maybe, like, $100 million minimum. And then kind of like a mix of both with the players and owners want. Like, you have that minimum, but then there's no cap. And also, too, like, with the players, I feel like there's nothing in there that's crazy of what they want.
No. I think the owners are just hell-bent on getting a cap.
Which makes no sense to me personally, like, especially in baseball when you have, like, people always say, like, you want to play baseball because you're going to make good money.
Yeah.
But that also just benefits you, again, because people are going to come see these star players, you know what I mean? And they're going to want them on their team, so that's just more money in your pocket from ticket sales and jersey sales and all this stuff. So for you to kind of have a cap just doesn't really make sense. And also, too, like, it's a large cap for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
They're going to have to shed a lot of salary and a lot of players.
Yeah, just think about the Mets. Like, if you set the cap at $245 million, the Mets literally have to slash $90 million out of the payroll.
Yeah. which is like
which
I
you
think
can't
so.
replace. You have to slash it.
Yeah, so it's like you're telling me you're gonna take almost $100 million away from the Mets, but give the Marlins $100 million. I'm like, ooh, that makes no sense.
No,
Like,
no.
it's not like New York is New York. You want to spend big money in these markets in Boston and Philly, and what I mean. Like, those are teams and markets that should spend big because you have a huge market for it.
Right.
Miami, they've their attendance has been like 2 people for the
Yeah.
past however
Nobody
many
gives a
years.
shit about Marlins.
Yeah, no,
They don't care.
It's just not, it's not a market right there. And even when you did, like a few years back, when the Marlins did have potential, so like wasn't really necessarily anyone in the stadium.
No.
Like when you had,
There's
yeah,
never been a huge influx of support for the baseball teams in Florida, whether
Yeah.
it be Tampa, whether it be Miami.
Yeah.
Like Tampa's been a good organization for the last decade plus, and their attendance does not reflect that.
Yeah, they've been in the World Series not too long ago. They've been in multiple playoff
Yeah.
appearances, and
They got one of the best records in the league right now. But
Yeah.
go look and see where they fall in attendance.
yeah, 100%. So I feel like it's just like just looking at it. It's going to be a long ride of baseball.
Yeah.
Getting into agreement, and we just should to see like what they come to. But I would kind of be disheartened as a fan to see a cap put in baseball.
Oh, it would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would 100% suck. And I don't believe that the players will bend to that, because if they do, everything changes if you do that. And I also believe that the owners might have I think they've colluded to the point where the majority of them are 10 toes down to be able to try to force the players to be able to try to get this cap in, because we've seen such a change in free agency where guys are not getting the money that they should be getting on the open market because there's so many teams that refuse to spend. You got guys that are waiting, right before spring training or during spring training to get contracts. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, there should never be anything like that. Like, we discussed this. Like, there should be a moratorium period for free agency, whether it's a month or whatever it is. But to have this just like, loosey-goosey type of situation where there is no cap or limit or type of time to be able to sign free agents and all this other stuff, it just feels very discombobulated, and they got to find a way to tighten that shit up. The other thing for me is that length of contracts, I think, should be a discussion. Obviously, the players' union are going to want long-term deals because that's long-term security for the players. However, I don't see that. I think they should have a cap on it. Like, instead of like a 15-year deal like a Juan Soto can sign, I think the most years that you can be able to get should be 10. If you want to lessen it to 8, fine. But I think a 15-year contract is too much. I do.
Yeah. So I mean, it's almost 2 decades.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if a franchise changes ownership and that ownership is now, they want to have less of a payroll, now this player that's been there has to be forced to be traded. It's just, I don't know. It just brings too much uncertainty to a player that's looking to have security. Obviously, his contract is solidified. It's guaranteed. It's just that I just believe for competitive purposes that it's better to shorten the years, to have a contract that's movable rather than have a contract that's immovable. 15 years, nobody's touching that. Nobody's touching that deal and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna trade for this guy." you sign that contract with that team, that is where you're staying, bruh. Unless that team is willing to eat 75% of that deal, which they're probably not going to do. No. So there's definitely wiggle room that the players can be able to find with the owners, be able to maybe shorten the length of contracts. I also like them saying that they want to change the free agency period from 6 years to 5. I would even say 4. Like, for you to be able to have control of a player their entire minor league career, whether they spend 3-4 years there, and then you have them for an additional 6, and then there's a qualifying offer on top of that where you have to get a compensatory pick. How much control do you need over a fucking player? That doesn't make sense to me. 4 years for free agency. You have 2 years for arbitration, and that's the way it's supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to work. So there's a myriad of issues that they have to work out. It's not just one. It's not the cap. The cap has always been one of those, like, elephant in the room type of situations where everybody's talking about, the cap, we can't, God, we can't have a cap, or yeah, we need a cap. But there's other situations too that need to be fixed. Because the QO is the stupidest thing in baseball to me. It forces teams to not be aggressive and not want to sign that player because they don't want to give up a compensatory pick. The fuck, like, that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. So, any thoughts on that?
Just like, there's obviously 26 people on a team, and a lot of important roles are pricey, like positions and pitching and all that stuff. Like, besides football, like the rosters are pretty hefty.
Yep.
So for you to kind of fill out a good roster, or even competitive roster, with kind of moving that money around is going to be very difficult. And especially too, like, if you have 1 to 2 like superstar, even like just all-star players, it's very minimal what you can kind of continue to do, especially with the AAV, like that these players want nowadays is pushing like $30 million.
Yeah.
So the room that teams have, I feel like, is just not going to be good enough to kind of, they want more competitiveness, but the talent's going to be like spread out, and like if one team has one good player, what about the rest of the 25? They're just going to get like mid players. Like, we even see like the Mets kind of bargain bizarre shop, and they still are the highest payroll.
Yep.
But that's like pretty much just because of, Juan Soto and Lindor. But where are they right now?
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like a cap is not beneficial to anyone. And if you want to put a cap, I think it should be like the most that a team has ever spent, and then kind of make that the cap. So it's like 350 or in that range, 320 to 350. I feel like is solid if they want to do a cap, but you can't make it almost $100 million less than the top team has spent.
Right. I agree. Put it at 350, 360, whatever it is, and then you have penalties after that they're going to be a luxury tax team and all this other stuff that you can figure out. But I'm opposed to a cap, period. I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I believe in a floor. I don't believe in a cap.